a treat.
Good afternoon. It's 5 o'clock, so we'll get started. Appreciate everybody being here. We'll call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum. We'll declare it open. I'm going to ask Councilmember Pat Howard if she'll lead us in the pledge and our invocation.
You join me, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You join me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful weather that you are providing us. We thank you also for all of those who serve our city, all of the individual employees who give so much to make our lives better. We thank you for the first responders, and we pray that you will keep them safe. Be with us tonight as we make the decisions of the city, that we use wisdom and will do only those things which will improve our city and pleasing to our citizens. In your heavenly name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right, thank you. So at this time, we'll look at the minutes of the regular city council meeting of January 3rd, 2023. Anybody have any changes?
Move to approve. Second.
First and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. We are at citizen comments. Is there any citizen here to address the council regarding any item on the agenda this evening? If not, we'll move on to the consent agenda. These items are considered to be routine and enacted in one motion without discussion. Unless a council member or decision requests a specific item to be discussed and voted on separately. These items include D7, D8, D9, D10, D11, E1, E2, E3, and F2. Would anybody like these broken apart for any reason?
Move to approve consent.
Second. Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, council. All right, Linda, if you'll read D1 for us, please.
Resolution 7013, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sherman authorizing execution of a standard form of agreement between owner, City of Sherman, and architect, Haddell and Associates Architects Incorporated, for professional services related to the renovation and addition for Fire Station Number 1.
Thank you, Linda. Chief Billy.
Sir.
You and Aaron, come on up. Tell us about the item here.
You all know Aaron Babcock, Haddell and Associates. So Aaron's been working with us on a complete facility master plan for Sherman Fire Rescue. And during that time, it became apparent that some improvements were needed on some of the stations that were currently occupied. Taking the next step in that pursuit, from them and Aaron, they'll put together a package, hopefully something we can approve and we all agree on. It became apparent that Station 1 is going to continue to be our central entryway to downtown. Much needed improvements need to be made, and it will be a rebuild of Station 1. The rebuild would add 3 bedrooms, which would take it up to 10 bedrooms in total. All of those bedrooms would be compliant to house both male and female personnel. It would also add 3 restrooms and 4 showers, all of which would also be compliant with female personnel, which is something we currently do not have at this location. We believe that this rebuild will add multiple decades of useful service to this location.
Very good. So to play off of that, what Chief was discussing is, the facility master plan that we're putting together for all the facilities. We have some more overarching goals that apply to all the stations. Tonight, we're going to look at how some of those goals for the department affect the existing building and what we're trying to achieve with a renovation. So what you're going to see tonight is really a progress presentation. It's sort of a jumping off point for us in our design. We've developed a concept to give us an idea and understanding of what we have to do to that site. We've investigated the existing building and known the strengths and weaknesses of it, what we can be utilized and what needs to change. So with that, I wanted to start off with the project goals. And Chief hit on a couple of these, but we need, number one, obviously, is to expand the staffing capacity. The current configuration of the building itself houses a crew as well as fire administration. So it is really not set up for the staffing levels that the chief's talking about with 10 crew members. So we know we have to renovate the interior to be appropriate for a staffing level as such. We want to promote a healthy working environment. And this is going to apply when we come back to you with an assessment of all the fire facilities. This is going to be an overarching goal that's going to apply to all of them. What we're really talking about here is we want to isolate the carcinogens and the contaminants. When firefighters go out on a call, they come back and can bring some of those back. So we want to isolate those, create a hot zone, a warm zone, and a cold zone. So the idea, the hot zone, that's where the contaminants might live. You have a warm zone where you're decontaminating those items and storing them, and then you're moving on into a green zone. The green zone would be where they're actively living on a daily basis. So you really want to create a layout and concept that promotes that and makes it easy for the firefighters to live within the bounds of that and keep those carcinogens out of the living environment. Accessible to all department staff. Really what this means is single dorm rooms, single toilets. Currently the facility does not have, it does have single dorm rooms, but it does not have single showers. So in essence, a female cannot be crewed out of that station. And then extending the life of the building. So I'm going to get into that a little bit more of the strengths and weaknesses we see with the existing building, with the overarching goal that we understand that whatever we're going to do, we want to have a 20+ year lifespan for this facility. So what can we utilize, what can we change to make this facility last for 20+ years? And then securing the site for all staff members. Currently, staff parking is just out in the parking lot. There's no exterior areas. We want to revamp the staff area, create a secured area where they can come, leave their vehicles if they're out on a call and feel like it's in a secure location. Some quick facts about the existing building. It was built in '64. It's about 9,500 square feet. The site's a little less than an acre. The existing structural system is, if you know what concrete tees are, that's what roads are mostly built out of. Its roof structure is that. It has concrete columns. The floor slab and roof structure are in good condition. We want to keep those. The rest of it, we're really looking at rebuilding. So the crew capacity is limited. The equipment's not properly stored. As you can see, we have bunker gear that's just sitting in the bay area. So if it's washed, decontaminated, it comes right back into the hot zone. We want to change that. The ice makers sitting right out in the bay area, it can be contaminated. The extractor and washer, they're sitting right out in the bay. We need to isolate these, create a better situation within the facility itself. Current one does not meet code standards, as you can imagine, built in 1964. So there are upgrades that we're going to have to do to make it more energy efficient as well as ADA accessible. We're going to sprinkle the building and create those individual toilets and showers. In there, you can see the dorms are kind of, the wardrobe closets are all together. The toilets are not individual, so we need to correct some of these deficiencies. So what are we talking about doing? Well, we're really talking about rebuilding. So it's not necessarily a renovation as much as a rebuild. With the idea that the existing bay space, which is this box here, we would leave this configuration. So we're going to leave some of these walls and revise that area. What you're seeing more in the darker gray shaded area, we're going to blow all those walls away and revamp. So we're going to have to cut the floor, redo the plumbing systems, move them to different locations, really strip the building down to its core and then rebuild it back. But we do see the existing floor slab and roof structure having tremendous value just because of the structural way they were built originally in 1964. So the site concept, and mind you, these are concept plans. As we develop these further, things might change, but just in essence, what we have is the rebuilt facility sits here, which is this building. We will have to expand to the north to meet our capacity needs, and then we're talking about securing the entire site. So taking over this whole area. So we have South Travis, we have Jones, and we have Cherry Street. So the existing bays would still be back in bays, we're going to utilize those, but we'll revamp this area. This will give us a secure parking of just right around 30. If we have a crew of 10 and we have a battalion there, we're going to have 11 staff members, and a shift change, you need at least 22. So we know our parking minimum within the secured zone is 22, we're gonna be a little bit over that. The concept for the plan itself, and I won't go into detail, I'll give you a general area. Back in bays remain, but get revamped. We're gonna redo the doors. We're talking about doing folding doors to this instead of overhead doors, which is much more common for a modern fire station. An overhead door creates a lot of issues with maintenance as well as hitting it potentially on the way out. Folding doors are just a better solution. So the gray area gets revamped. The blue area is all revamped. So we sort of have this hot zone, then we have this warm zone of decon and isolation. So we're isolating the bunker gear, having a way to decontaminate it, and then we move into the sleeping and living zones. The orange areas would be the building addition. That would sit to the point. So the benefit of it, we increase the square footage to about 10,000, almost 11,000 square feet. We have 5 single showers, we have 1 single toilet, we have the back-end bays, but the biggest amenities are the bunker gear is isolated, the gear and laundry is isolated, we have a dedicated workroom. Right now their workroom is just within the bay area itself. They have individual dorms and showers. We have an outdoor covered patio. Right now there's really no outdoor space for them. And then we have an enlarged washroom, and then we're keeping 1 additional vehicle bay within the facility itself. As far as what we have to do to renovate this facility, as you can imagine, just shutting down a fire station is not, there's a little bit more to it. So the steps that we have in place today is, would sort of be the start of the design contract as well as then going out to bid for the CMAR. We get those together and we start putting the documents together that we would come back to you to approve. So we have a city council approval for GMP. We're targeting sometime this summer, late summer for that. In the interim, the things that have to take place is we would vacate this building, obviously, to renovate it. What that means is we would be utilizing Station 4 and Station 2. So we would move an engine and a medic back to Station 2. We'd have the battalion and reserve moving to 4. At 2, we just reopen the facility and reuse it during construction. Construction is about 12 months. For Station 4, and I have an additional slide on that, what we're talking about doing is creating an additional dorm room. This is a permanent solution for that station. Currently, the dorms, there's not quite enough there, and so if we convert one of the rooms in there, which is an IT room. If we reconvert the IT room into a bunk, now all of a sudden we're going to have 6 bunks. We can move a staff member over there, a crew member over there. The EMS storage is too large, so we're going to take that back to move the IT.
Hey, Aaron, just for clarification, could you remind the council which one Station 2 is?
Station 4 is off of Northgate Drive over next to the new PD.
Yes. And
Yes.
2?
And Station 2 is over by the airport.
Okay, that's on duty.
That's on duty. That's correct.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Sorry to interrupt.
No. So we would have to do that remedial work. We would do it before they would vacate to Station 4, and then we have to relocate the fire admin. So the idea is fire admin would move over to 5.5. 5.5 right now is used as a logistical building for them. We think the work to that is very remedial. It's remedial. It would be mostly furniture, getting additional furniture over there, but that would really be a temporary solution for fire admin. That would not be the permanent solution for fire admin. Like I said, we're looking at about a 12-month construction time, so we would see the facility reopening in the fall, summer of 2024. Questions?
And 5.5, remember, is the separate building that we bought on Frisco Road, north of the fire station.
Sorry.
That's all I did, right?
What's the busiest fire station?
Frisco.
Well, right. I don't know. Now that we've combined 1 and 2, are they?
45 and 1 are together.
I noticed on that reconfigure of 1, it didn't have admin offices in it, so admin is going
Permanently somewhere else.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, different fire station, different fire.
How far does that butt up against the Carter building? It just went up.
So our site comes to this location right here. So you still have the parking lot that sits right behind the Carter building.
Oh, okay.
It's a city parking lot.
That is a city parking lot, that's correct. Yeah, we're reutilizing the city property. We're not overtaking any additional areas.
Well, a question that I'm sure some of our citizens will ask, and that is, by taking away the central fire station, how will that impact our downtown businesses as far as, fire needs, et cetera, or even paramedic needs? Because they're used to having someone right there. The same way when you close Station 2 permanently, then the people on that section of town are concerned, because I've already received phone calls about, what about us? With the roads the way they are, how long is it gonna take someone to get over to us?
One of the fortunate things that we have is when you draw a circle around the fire station,
Yeah.
Station 2 and 1 both have like a 50% overlap of each other's circle. So by combining those two, we haven't completely vacated either area. While the construction is going on, there would be longer than typical response times because they would be coming out of Station 2 or 4 to get to downtown. Still within national average, but longer than what we've been used to. Having that one just 2 blocks away from the square, we've been on top of things for 60 years.
One of the other interesting things that Chief told me, so I know it's a small sample size, but in the 2+ weeks that they've been combined, the responses to what now is the area being covered by Station 1 Central is well within the standards of response times. I'll feel better when we have months of data about that, but what we're seeing in preliminary indications are it's working as though we thought it would work. The response times being adequate and working on having an adequate space to house a super station here where we can run multiple companies out of it.
I mean, there's never a good time to slow response times. You gotta carry the mandate off sooner or later.
Yeah. So, okay.
This remodel, I guess, will give you the ability to have the men that you need, so that whenever a department shows up on scene, they can get to work in the future without having another department or another station show up necessarily. 3-man engines or 4-man engines. Right. There's potential for that in this new.
Oh, correct. Yeah. This would give us the potential to have 2 fire trucks and 1 engine out of this one station, 2 fire trucks and 1 medic out of the station, 2 medics and 1 fire truck. It just gives us that flexibility to do what the data shows us we need to do in this area.
Well, the faster we get started, the faster we get done, so what's the timeline?
So the timeline is, I think that we've got 2 sort of pieces of the puzzle. So myself and then working with the CMAR, we anticipate them being on board in March, which would put us in a time frame to come back to you sometime in the summer, this summer for GMP, and then we're anticipating 12 months or so for the construction.
Now, does that include this smaller one to take this IT cabinet out that we need to get done first?
Yeah, so our feeling is with that is basically once the CMAR is on board, we're gonna have them go do that work well before they even have to vacate the facility. It really is a benefit for the fire department to have that be a bump now, so we'll do that right up front.
So we'll expedite that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so our overarching goal here is for them to make enough progress between now, assuming that resolution 7013 gets passed, so that we'll have a more detailed discussion at the budget workshop. And here are budget numbers that we can go, make that part of the bond package, have our plans ready, and then, as Aaron stated, we spend summer of 23 through summer of 24 doing the actual renovation work. My sense is we wouldn't vacate Station 1 until we've got the design and a lot further down the road there. So we're probably still a few months away from vacating Station 1 and moving it, then dispersing the people as he's described. But by then we'll have 5 or 6 months worth of data that we can use to make the decisions on the just validate what we believe is true, which is Central Station is properly located, and certainly with this additional staff that we'll be able to house, can handle the needs of the area that it's covering.
I know we don't have finances on this yet, we don't know the cost or those type of things, construction costs, you have basic probably, but, so is it anticipated this will be a substantial savings, to remodel on site, no, without, I forget.
Absolutely. So probably not quite, you're not quite saving half what you're saving costs by renovating it versus just scrapping it.
Okay, this is a small thing compared to the building itself. But right now in the parking lot of the Central Fire Station is a safe zone where it has been labeled, whether you want to meet someone that is selling something that you don't know, or whether it is you're meeting someone that you are wanting to meet on a date or social thing. And with this being changed, it looked like there might not be a location there, so I would like to request that the fire department and the police department, if need be, find another location and let's advertise it. Because I do see on Facebook Marketplace and things that people are saying they meet at that safe zone, because the fire department does have cameras and aim there and that kind of thing. So I'm giving you guys the task. I know, doesn't mind, whichever location, but I would like a safe zone.
I think a new parking lot somewhere on West Travis is gonna be a good place.
We have one of those.
Is there a safe zone there?
No, but that's easily replicated. We do have the parking lot though.
I understand.
When the cameras are at the current PD, but one probably has to keep an eye out.
Right, just, I wanted to bring that up, so that you all can decide where to place it in the future. And because I do not want that to go away if at all possible. I think it's an asset to our community, please. Thank you.
I move to approve 7013.
Second.
Okay, first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Mary.
Thanks.
Appreciate your presentation. Linda, we ready to D2, please.
Resolution 7014, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sherman authorizing execution of a professional services agreement between owner City of Sherman and architect M. Arthur Gensler Jr. and Associates Incorporated for the design of the new Sherman City Hall.
Thank you, Linda. Zach, there you are.
Yeah, so Brian Nicodemus is here from Gensler, but as many of you have probably seen at different times in city council meetings here, or probably more frequently at a P&Z meeting, this room can often get filled up. I know my coworker here next to me, his office is completely filled up. So with the growth of the city, we've seen consistent growth with staff as well. And while this building was renovated in the early 2000s from the old post office to be the city hall as it is now, we've reached a point where we're outgrowing the space, and it currently doesn't house necessarily all of the city services that you would typically see in a city hall. So this contract gets us to coordinate with Gensler to really program what would be needed in a new city hall, how big that would be, what size of site we would need, be able to give us a little bit of insight into what the cost of that may be as well. So this is on the front end to be able to program what a new city hall might look like.
And our goal in this one as well would be to come back to you during the budget workshop with an actionable plan to be able to tell you timelines and costs and whatnot, schematic layouts, have some pictures, other things to show you about whether or not to move forward. So both of these items, D1 and D2, aren't commitments to build anything. It's really just to do more homework on what the scope would be, what the cost would be, what the timelines would be. So,
And I may add that last council meeting, the request to advertise for CMAR, construction manager at risk, was passed so that, as you can see in both of these projects, we're looking to walk that path. And again, I think that it gives us just a much better product when we're looking at the prices, right? So one of the benefits of that is being able to get more accurate pricing so that when we come to y'all with, as Robbie said, that homework, we're hitting it as close as we can because you can ask Chief Jeff Coat or Aaron, we don't want to come to you with change order. So if we can do that on the front end with these projects with this CMAR, we're better equipped to bring you a better product.
Have you worked with Gensler and Associates in the past?
We've not. You've seen some of their work before around town.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they did the First United Bank, very nice looking facility. So,
Did we put an RFQ on this?
on the, no, not for the, no, not for this architectural work. It was just kind of looking at folks that were available that we knew did good work and had a good reputation in town. And similar to, we've had some experience, quite a bit of experience now with Aaron, and just can vouch for their work. So, if you want to work with folks who have done work here in the community and have presented a good work product.
Sure. Yeah, just, I've not seen us pass a deal like this without an RFQ before, so I'm just kind of curious. Is that customary for us to do?
Yeah, I mean, we don't always go through the RFQ for engineering and architecture services. We do for most things. We don't for everything.
Okay.
I move to approve 7014.
Second?
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Linda, you'll read D3 for us, please.
Resolution 7015, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sherman authorizing execution of an interlocal memorandum of understanding between the City of Sherman and the Grayson County Sheriff's Office to establish guidelines regarding the housing and handling of those persons incarcerated in the Grayson County Jail for the City of Sherman Class C charges only.
Good evening, Chief.
Hey, Mayor, how are you? Good. So this is a rework of the 2013 contract, MOU and ILA we have with the county to house our Class C only arrests. So this has to be Class C only. So if we arrest someone that's Class C and above, this doesn't pertain, it's just for traffic citation type arrest. So what this is going to be an increase in the cost to house our prisoners from $45 to $65 a day. And that this contract will be renewed every year with an increase in the cost, whatever the market is at the time.
Do we arrest a lot of people?
So we do not really. So we're probably less than $10,000 a year total in fines. I would say we average maybe 10 to 12 a month, maybe.
And am I understanding that the jail is discouraging Class C misdemeanor arrests?
They are, yes, because of their capacity, they are discouraging Class C only arrests. So normally, in those cases, what we'll do is we'll just issue someone a citation, and they'll come to the court.
So this number could be really low.
It could be, yeah. There's been times where we've had 3 or 4 a month, and that's it.
I move to approve that.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries. Thank you, Councilman. All right, Linda, you'll read D4 please.
Resolution 7016, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sherman determining a public necessity to acquire by eminent domain a sanitary sewer easement and temporary construction easement for public use, including the construction, expansion, access, repair, and maintenance of public wastewater improvements consisting of 2 tracts of land comprising of 0.054 acres sanitary sewer easement and a 20-foot area on both sides of said 0.054 acres for a temporary construction easement owned by Susan M. Branham, according to volume 5531, page 816 of the official public records of Grayson County, Texas, within the Preston Kitchen Survey, abstract number 667, Grayson County, Texas, as deemed necessary by the city manager or his designee, giving notice of an official determination to acquire the sanitary sewer easement and temporary construction easement for public use by eminent domain for such uses, authorizing the city manager of the city of Sherman, Texas to establish procedures for acquiring the easements, offering to acquire the easements voluntarily from the landowner through the making of bona fide offers, appropriating funds.
Thank you, Linda. Wayne?
Evening, Mayor Council. So this is basically, asking us to, be allowed to pursue eminent domain as needed for this property. We have a wastewater capacity improvement project in this area. Tom has managed to acquire, I think, most of the easements for this line. This property owner has basically said that they will never give us an easement for the line. This project is providing capacity improvements in this area, replacing 2 older, smaller lines with 1 bigger one. It's in a slightly different alignment than the existing lines, so we need some additional easement. We've already done appraisal on the property and made an initial offer. So request that this item be approved.
Council questions, discussion?
There's no questions. I move that the City Council of the City of Sherman authorize the use of the power of eminent domain to acquire 2 tracts of land comprising 0.054 acres and the 20-foot area on either side of said 0.054 acres for sanitary sewer easement and temporary construction easement.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Council. All right, Linda, do we read the 5?
Resolution 7017, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sherman determining a public necessity to acquire by eminent domain a sanitary sewer easement and temporary construction easement for public use, including the construction, expansion, access, repair, and maintenance of public wastewater improvements, consisting of 2 tracts of land comprising 1.693 acres temporary construction easement and 1.359 acres sanitary sewer easement, owned by HMI Sherman 592 LLC. According to instrument number 2022-28337 of the official public records of Grayson County, Texas, within the Sherrard Dunham Survey, abstract number 329, and the Winifred Bailey Survey, abstract number 64 of Grayson County, Texas, as deemed necessary by the city manager or his designee, giving notice of an official determination to acquire the sanitary sewer easement and temporary construction easement for public use by eminent domain for such uses, authorizing the city manager of the City of Sherman, Texas to establish procedures for acquiring the easements, offering to acquire easements voluntarily from the landowner through the making of bona fide offers, appropriating funds.
Thank you, Linda. Wayne?
Yes, again, this is a wastewater capacity improvement project to replace an existing older, smaller line with a bigger line. Also a line that's a lot deeper. To serve the upstream area all the way up to West Travis area, west of 75. It also affects the ability to relocate the existing main through the Bel Air property. This downstream line has to be done first. And Tom has spent quite a number of months trying to negotiate a deal with the property owner out here, and it just hasn't been working out, and it's become a little frustrating because it's holding up our ability the developer's ability to do his next phase of Bel Air. So we're requesting permission to pursue the eminent domain route on this property as well in order to get this project moving forward. We're in the process of acquiring appraisals to do a first official initial offer.
Thank you, Wayne. Council questions, discussion on this item?
The only question I have is, and it relates kind of to both of these two, but we don't historically see eminent domain requests on the first shake at it in front of council. So this is kind of an interesting couple of items, although I know we've already passed the other one, but is there a reason that we've jumped eminent domain here at the council level in the very beginning? Or is that just to give you the ability to have all the way up to that point? That
gives us the ability all the way to that point. We will accept a negotiated settlement at any time. Like I said, we have a official first offer, per statutes requirements to the previous property owner after an appraisal is done. All that's required before you can go to eminent domain. We've not gotten a response back from the property owner, but if they come back and and say they agree to the first offer, or they want to negotiate something that were agreed to, we will not, require commissioners, request a commissioner's court date. This is just to give us the ability to go ahead and pursue that once we have met all the statutory requirements of appraisal of the property, initial offer for 30 days, and final offer for 14 days.
And I know this hasn't happened in the past, and I don't anticipate it happening in the future. I just want to make sure we're not getting into the habit of jumping into eminent domain as our first option, to give us the freedom to take it whenever we want it.
So in both of these, though, we've had conversations with property owners, yeah?
Yes, for a very long time.
And they've not been.
3 to 6 months of conversation.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Trying to negotiate, and so this is.
And I'm okay, I understand sometimes it's necessary, but since these are the first times we've heard about these two projects, I just want to make sure we aren't getting a habit of jumping in the domain and straight out, so.
No, sir.
With that, I move the city council, the city of Sherman authorize the use of the power of eminent domain to acquire 2 tracts of land comprising 1.693 acres and 1.359 acres for sanitary sewer easement and temporary construction.
I second that.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries. Thank you, council. All right, Linda, if you will read D6 for me.
Resolution 7018, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sherman approving and adopting an amendment to the Articles of Incorporation of the Sherman Economic Development Corporation to Type A Economic Development Corporation, operating pursuant to Chapter 504 of the Texas Local Government Code and providing for an immediate effective date.
Thank you, Linda. Good evening, Ken.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Thank y'all for allowing me to come and present this. Basically, this is amending our articles of incorporation, which were done way back in 96, I believe, when SEDCO was first formed and formed by the City Council. I'm asked nearly every session to come to Austin and testify. Sometimes it might be 1 or 2 times during session. Other times, just this session, it's probably going to be multiple times before various committees, usually related, well, nearly always related to issues that affect local economic development. I'm not going to know several of my peers that are asked to come down. And these are typically informative, a testimony that Senate or House members are asking questions, and how does it affect you locally. So really, that's what this is. Our attorney, Jeff Moore, said, I want to check our articles of incorporation, because I told him we're talking about one testimony. And sure enough, he's seen this in other articles of incorporation too. Previously, you can read, hopefully you've got this, the red line version, but previously we were not allowed to take part of no legislative influence. We couldn't influence legislation at all, any part of it. The IRS has some rules regarding this, and for nonprofits, which that's what we fall under as far as our tax success, the IRS says 501c3, you cannot, it's not substantial amount, you can't have a substantial amount of your organization's effort going to influence legislation. So it allows for limited influence of legislation as far as testimony given by me or his staff, and we just wanted to make sure, clean this up to make sure that we weren't stepping over a line at some point. So that's what we're asking the council to do. Our board has heard this at our last board meeting last Tuesday.
Ryan, is this the difference between testimony and lobbying? Is that sort of what we're getting in here into?
Yeah, I think that there is some language in the current article of incorporation to talk about lobbying efforts, and of course that's not defined in the articles of incorporation. That can mean any number of things. So I think the concern that was brought forward was just to make sure that it was clear in the articles that whatever Kent and his staff are doing in terms of providing testimony, other efforts to get feedback on future legislative efforts in Austin, or Washington, D.C., or wherever else, would be authorized by the
Second. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, thank you. Yes, your way.
We're into that.
You're up this time, we're going to receive a quarterly progress report from the Sherman Economic Development Corporation I believe they have your team, your award-winning team here tonight.
What character,
That's right, award-winning.
Well, and I trust that you all have seen our staff prepared quarterly report, and so I won't go through this, and read each of these things off, but, just wanted to hit some of the highlights. Of course, our mission has not changed. We're still have the mission to grow and diversify the economy of Sherman and surrounding area. Some of the top accomplishments, I'll just point out, obviously, Global Wafers broke ground last year on a 5 billion, 300 millimeter silicon wafer production facility. I think most of the council were at that. Setco in the city of Sherman, as the mayor just alluded to, we were awarded a CEDA award, which is the Community Economic Development Award for population, cities in our size category population of 20,000, 50,000. That is a prestigious award. I'm sorry.
Did we win?
Yes, we did. Yes. What did I say? I did. We did win. Yes. Let's see. The Golden Shovel, who is designs a lot of websites for cities and economic development corporations across the country. Every year they do a ranking. So we were in the top 5 of the websites, so that's kind of cool. Let's see, also Setco, our board voted our new officers for this year, and they voted Janie Bates as chair, Scott Vandermeer as vice chair, and Jason Brunt as secretary treasurer. Plans for next quarter, which we're currently in, of course, we're always going to be aggressively going after new business traction and new business retention. We've launched the 2023 RISE program. That's our Entrepreneurial Challenge Grant program. That portal, the website portal, is open now, so we are actively seeking applications to compete for this year's RISE Challenge Grant program dollars. We hosted and I got to really give kudos to my staff. On January 12th, we hosted the Women and Minority-Owned WOMO kickoff event. And we had over 84 individuals there, excluding staff and excluding other people that are helping us do this. This was 84 individuals that have expressed an interest in WOMO. It's a really, really neat thing. We are going to, we have built a database, and the database now has how many?
200.
Over 200 women and minority-owned businesses in Sherman. So, and it's broken out by sector, finance, healthcare, just several sectors are listed. And we're going to push that to our industries, where it's going to say, hey, here's a link to this very easy to use database. If you have a need for catering, if you have whatever your need is, please look at this list to solicit bids or solicit business from. We think that's going to be really neat. And we'll have we're going to host some seminars and other events for the minority-owned, women-owned businesses. So we're really excited about that. The staff has done a tremendous job getting that done. Let's see. We're going to be, Ashton, myself, and Shannon will be attending the legislative conference, the Texas Economic Development Council Legislative Conference in Austin on February the 22nd through the 24th. Lots of good stuff there. Mostly what we're interested in this session, as you all know, is the 313 replacement bill. I mean, we've just got to have that, not just in Sherman, not just in North Texas, but the whole state's got to have that. And what we're hearing is a growing course of support from, especially at the local level, cities, counties, and school districts are all saying, without this legislation, capital projects that are in the hundreds of millions or billions, which we saw a plethora of, those projects, Texas is not competitive for those. Not with states like Ohio and New York and Pennsylvania coming in with legislation that substantially reduces that tax burden. So we've got to have this, and hopefully the legislature has a willing ear and we'll get this passed, get a replacement bill passed soon in this legislative session. And we're going to host the first quarter plant manager safety leader forum on March the 30th at Cove here. So that we're excited to be doing that. Our meetings are held the second Tuesday of each month, and we hold special call meetings as needed. We have had 100% quorum at each of our board to a board meeting. Sorry, guys, I didn't talk. Other things we're working on, we're currently working on 6 active projects with an estimated over $3 billion in capital expenditures, and approximately 4,440 new jobs, with 283 retained jobs. Obviously, one project makes up the bulk of that. We've completed 4 site visits with companies interested in relocating and expanding their operations to Sherman. Let's see, in December, the mayor and Robbie and myself went to Austin to meet with Coherent and the governor. We're so grateful that the governor gave us an audience. And we had, what was that, 45 minutes? The company, chairman of the board, the president of the board were able to explain to the governor what their plans were for coming to Texas, specifically Sherman. And the mayor is very, he's on board with this project, so we want to see that happen. But some other things have to happen too. So that's about all I can say on that. Anyway, I'll just stop there, and if you don't have any questions, I'll be more than happy to try to get those answered.
Any questions for Ken?
Oh, yes.
So you mentioned the minority women-owned business. How about just a regular minority-owned business?
It covers both. It covers both. It's either, it's minority-owned or women-owned, yes. Or both, I should have been saying. Or both, absolutely. And a lot of times it is both. Both the owner is so, yeah, absolutely. Were you thinking about getting on the list? Okay. We can get you the link of that. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Ken. All right, at this point, we'll consider the appointment or removal or consider qualifications to boards and commission, the Keith Sherman Beautiful Commission.
I make a motion that we reappoint Mr. Engel, and to appoint Ms. Vessels, Ms. Martin, and Mr. Martin, I'm sorry, and Ms. Corley.
Second. Okay, motion and second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, we are to council comments. Jim, Councilman Holland, I'm gonna start with you.
You did a really good job yesterday at Austin College. Our city paid in the sponsorships was really well. It was really, really nice. It's something to keep growing. And I like the idea of them having students more involved in it. Austin College, they represented it really well. Hopefully next year we can get a little stronger into our high school students and get them more involved in it. So it really went well yesterday.
No comment, sir?
None for me.
No comment.
All right, so just a few announcements. The first one, make plans to attend the annual Habitators fundraiser for Habitat for Humanity on the 21st. It'll be right across the street over here in Municipal Ballroom 11. Support one of the area's most impactful charities. And don't forget to get your tickets to the Sherman Chamber of Commerce Annual Lunch Luncheon on the 27th. It's a great opportunity to recognize some of our great community leaders. So hope you can attend. And finally tonight, that's Coffee with the Mayor on February 7th. We'll be checking out the Goodwill store on Texoma Parkway along with another great morning of networking and community announcements. So with that, we are adjourned.